Hello everybody, this is Monty with Flowers by the Bunch. So I realize it's been a little time since I have made a fresh arrangement for you, so I thought I would do that today. We have an order for a baby boy arrangement to go to the hospital, except they didn't want traditional baby boy colors. They just wanted pretty bright colors. So to make it baby boy, we're going to add a little bit of blue ribbon to it, so that it looks like a baby boy. We do have a balloon that we're gonna attach, so it'll be perfect. I'm starting out with a short compact container. This is called a Rosy Posy vase. We ordered these from Direct Floral. They haven't had them in a while, but they're my favorite. I love the fact that it has a wonderful flat base. It's wonderful. I have filled it with fresh water, added a little bit of fresh flower food to this container. I'm going to start out with some white hydrangeas as my base because they just really make everything so much easier when you're working in a compact container. I'm going to take that hydrangea, I'm cutting it at an angle, and I'm tucking it right into my vase. Now I like to pull off all of the foliage of the hydrangeas, kind of fluff it up just a smidge, cut it at an angle, and drop it right into that vase. Now what this hydrangea does is it gives me a great base and holds all my flowers into place. Next I'm going to come in with a little bit of yellow solidago. So I'm staying in just bright, fun colors. You know, in December, people tend to think of Christmassy colors for their flower arrangements, but I think when it's a birthday or the birth of a baby, it's always wonderful to do bright celebration colors. So there's my solidago. Next, I'm going to come in with this pretty fuchsia colored stock. Now stock is what we would, or I would call, I'm not sure about others, I like to call it a line flower. You see how it's a line. It's in a line. Now it's a little chunky for a line flower. Like snapdragons and bells of Ireland aren't quite as chunky as stock is, but it works, it's shaped like a line. So I'm taking just a couple of three stems of stock, and I'm tucking those right over into that container. Next I have some pretty red Alstroemeria lilies. So I'm doing just kind of bright colors that would work for a baby boy, but doesn't scream baby boy arrangement. So I'm just taking those Alstroes, I'm cutting them at an angle, and I'm tucking them in. Now, an Alstroe is also called a Peruvian lily. We've always called them Alstroemeria lilies or Alstroes here. Long lasting and have tons of blooms on a stem. This one stem that I just placed in the vase has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 blooms on one stem, which is just crazy, right? Next, I'm gonna come in with some bright orange Gerbera daisies. So Gerbera daisies are a large daisy, about the size of my hand, the palm of my hand. They always come in bright colors, which make them so fun to use. Let's see, I'm looking for some wire in my messy floral drawer. I don't think I have anything to cut the wire with. Let's see. Sorry it's taking me a second, guys. What I like to do is I like to wire a Gerbera daisy. The reason is I found some wire, sorry about that. I like to wire his little head. So I'm gonna see this little disc part, the little green part of the Gerbera? I'm gonna take this wire and push it right into that disc and just twist it right around the stem, okay? Now what this does is it kind of gives me a little bit of flexibility in that Gerbera. You have to be careful because you will easily pop his little head off. so you have to be kind of careful. When Gerbera daisies are packed in a box, they're packed with this little sleeve or this little netting on top. So I just slide that right off. And they also have this wonderful straw that keeps their necks from bending too much, okay? I don't love to leave the straw on because it's so dark and it shows up, and I don't love that. So I like to take just a florist wire, wrap it right around his stem. That gives him, it just gives him a little bit more protection, so his little head won't pop off and he won't bend. They tend to want to dip their heads. So I just took it and wrapped it right around that stem. Now, some florists like to run the wire up the stem. For me personally, that's a lot of work when I just wire it just around the stem and it doesn't bother me at all. So I'm going to tuck those Gerberas right in. Now I'm going to turn him around. I'm going to tuck one more Gerbera there. Just take that wire, poke it in his little head and twist it right around. Now, when you go to maneuver his little head and to kind of get him to look at you, be very careful. They're brittle and that little head will pop right off. So be careful when you do that. Hello, Mr. Osa. Okay, so there's our Gerberas. Let's add a couple of stems of these green Hypericum berries. Hypericum berries, I've told you many times, come in lots of colors, green and white, red and burgundy, pink, kind of a pinky peachy color. So lots and lots of colors, and they paint beautifully. So if you ever need them a color that they didn't come, you can pop them with a little floral paint and they paint beautifully. I love the Hypericum berries. I like the texture in an arrangement, and we can get those year round. So they're really nice. I'm going to take my floral knife and I am removing the thorns. And it's not for any reason except they bite. So I just remove those. Now this has a couple of guard petals. So I'm just going to pop those guard petals right off. And this one's kind of the petals just have a little bumper bruise. Anytime your petals have a little bumper bruise, go ahead and remove those. Take that flower and push it right into that arrangement. Okay, so it wasn't quite short enough for me. I'm going to take that stem out, cut a little more, and place that in. Just pop off any of those guard petals. Now a guard petal is a petal that's just on the rose, meant to cover the rose and protect it. But I always like to remove the guard petal because not everybody thinks it's pretty like I do. Okay, so I have plenty of flowers in my container. So there's my flowers all the way around. To finish this arrangement, I'm going to take a little bit of this silver dollar eucalyptus, and I am going to tuck it in just to give us a little bit of whimsy. Okay, so to finish this arrangement, I am just adding this eucalyptus